You are knowing what you are wanting, sort of. And of course you are enjoying the continual expansion of your personal desire and preferences, because that's what you signed on for. You said, I'll come into a physical body and I'll explore and I will be inspired to improvement. Constant, never-ending, personal preference, improvement, expansion. And the source within you, Abraham, your inner being, we said, we appreciate so much you're going forward into the new, exposing yourself in dynamic ways to be inspired to more. And we'll stand in constant readiness for the more that you have identified. And in the moment of your identification of the improvement, we will back you up with all that is. And you said, once I identify it, I will focus purely, precisely, in a non-resisted way upon my new preference. I'll not let my beliefs that were active before my new desire dominate and crowd out my new desire. I'll be flexible and I'll move forward with the new idea. I will not hold rigidly to the old and deny the inevitable new. So cut it out, will you? That is what you said, and we're here by your request to remind you how to go about that, how to live in the what is with all of its wanted and unwanted, and to focus yourself upon the wanted so that you allow, and this is the essence of everything that we're going to talk about, and it's the essence of everything that you'll ever need to know about. It's the essence of a joyous life experience. To stand in a conscious, deliberate awareness, determination, fashioning of a path of no resistance. Path of no resistance. Path of least resistance. That's what we want you to come away from this gathering remembering and sure of. We'd like to just zap you with your knowledge that you are perfect as you are and expanding, and that those two can go together. But when you deny yourself appreciation for where you are or even where you've been, in that denial of your perfection, you disallow the more. You disallow the improvement. You disallow what your life has caused you to identify that you want. So we come into your experience and we begin explaining to you who you are from our broader perspective of who you are, wanting you to begin catching glimpses of the biggest picture of who you are, so that you are not bound by the limited picture that you have devised of who you are. As you leave this gathering today, we want you to remember that there is an atmosphere of well-being that surrounds you at every level of your being. There just are not enough words to express to you fully enough the bigness of this well-being that is focused upon you, flowing to you and through you, if you will allow it, at all times. And so, your predominant work, if you are to live as you intended to live, if you are to be as you intended to be, if you are to feel as you intended to feel, is that you must find ways of softening your barricades, softening your guardedness, softening your unwillingness to allow that well-being to penetrate is too powerful of a word, but to penetrate your energy shell and allow everything that you've been asking for. You are source energy in these physical bodies. You are extensions of source energy. and you are in perfect places. You've come forth to explore and to define and to intend and to come to awareness of what you want. But when you come to an awareness of what you want briefly, knowing what you don't want causes you to know what you do want. As that rocket of desire emanates from you, you've got to find a way to be in sync with that desire rather than in sync with the absence of it. You've got to find a way that wanting feels good to you again as it once did, where desire is something that inspires you rather than makes you feel inadequate in some way. We want you to come to the place that we know about you. We want you to know that you can be or do or have anything that you can identify. And not only can you, but it's right that you do. And not only can you, but all of us and all that is source is not just rooting for you. We are understanding where you stand in proximity to everything you want. And we know what the path of least resistance from where you are to where you want to be on every subject in the world that is important to you is. We know what that path is, and we're lighting it up all day, every day. But you've got to be in the vibrational proximity before you get the clues, before you feel the impulse, before you have the knowing, before you follow the path of least resistance. Over time, this gathering has had a few different titles. We began by letting you know that you are the creator of your own reality. And at first you liked the idea of that. I want to create my own reality, but how you go about creating your own reality is very different than you think that it is, because it isn't about your effort. It isn't about your determination. It isn't about your doing or dying. It isn't about you making it happen. It isn't about setting goals. It isn't about finding a target and then keeping your eyes only upon that target. It's about letting life show you what feels best to you and identifying it and then practicing the thought and feeling of that experience until you own it, until you are it. Because once you feel it, once you feel the vibrational frequency of anything that you desire, now you stand allowing a path of no resistance. And from every corner of the universe, with almost everyone you meet, there is another component for the unfolding of what you want. And it is not just getting from where you are to getting over to where you want to be. It's not just finally getting there that brings you the satisfaction. It's at every step in the direction of what you want and every step in the allowing of who you really are is a joyful state of becoming. And that's what you came for. You didn't come here to fix things that are broken or to find things that are unknown or to know things you don't know. All of that is happening, of course, but that was not your reason. You came because life on the path of least resistance is a delicious state of being. And you are in love with life, and you are in love with you, and you are in love with being in love with life. And you said, I'll go forth and please myself as I revel in goodness and well-being with others upon the planet. And so then you say, all right, well then where are the good ones? Why am I not surrounded by the revelers? Why am I surrounded by the complainers and the resistance? And we say, well, it's a longer story than maybe we can explain to you all at once, but basically you've picked up patterns of resistance along your physical trail. And when you are practicing one of those patterns of resistance, you don't feel so good. You feel ornery or angry. You feel defensive or blameful or guilty. You feel annoyed at someone. You feel unworthy. But when you are on the path, when you are really allowing all that you are to be present in this moment, in the conversation that you're having, in the thought process that you're having, in the interaction that you're having, in your solitude or in your group fun, in any moment that you are feeling interest or exhilaration or passion or that feeling of appreciation or love, you are on your path. It really is that simple. So your life, dear hearts, is on or off the path, moment by moment by moment by moment by moment. In the big picture, you can't get off the path because the path is sure. You cannot get off the path. Not really. Only temporarily. And when you do, you don't feel good. So, we just want you to know that the path is more well lighted than you have been allowing yourself to realize. And that the more you get in the vibrational proximity of who you really are and what you are all about, then the better you'll feel moment by moment, until you'll find yourself being in this world, being in this body, looking out into the environment that surrounds you and feeling appreciation for that and that and that and that and that. You will tune yourself to the frequencies of the best of all that you are. And when that happens, the best of all that is, wherever you stand, is all that can show itself to you. And that is when you are then managing your point of attraction in the way that you intended. You knew when you decided to come forth into this physical body that it was going to be a journey, an adventure, and one of joyous expansion. And you knew that you were being born with an emotional guidance system that would help you to understand the vibrational components that you were allowing or disallowing in every moment where you stood, in every conversation as you spoke, in everything that you observed or remembered or imagined. You knew that your emotions would let you know what you're doing vibrationally. So in the beginning, we called this gathering the science of deliberate creation, because we wanted you to know that you could direct your thoughts in a meaningful way. And in doing so, you could practice a vibrational frequency that then would yield you the results, not just later, but right now, that would be pleasing to you. Later, we began emphasizing not just that you can be a deliberate creator and that life is only really fun when you are, because while you can stumble by default into good feeling thoughts, you usually don't sustain them without some meaning and some purpose and some deliberateness. But you got a little heavy-handed on that because you sort of make a big deal out of everything. We love you very much. And so we began emphasizing the art of allowing, the allowing part of the equation, not just the defining what you want, but the practicing the frequency of it. When life lets you know that you want more money and you stand in worry or blame or irritation at not having enough money, your frequency is not about more abundance coming. Your frequency is about holding off the abundance that's trying to get in. And most people don't understand that. They think that they can demand their way, that they can just get big enough and loud enough and mean enough and powerful enough that they can just get what they want to happen. And to a certain extent, you can move stuff around, but it's a mediocre and up and down, very difficult life to live. But when you begin to remember that you are extensions of source energy and that you are vibrational beings, flesh, blood, and bony too, but you are vibrational beings, and that the vibration is the basis of all that is, and that you can offer your vibration deliberately, and that it's not so much a thinking process as it is a feeling process, that you can literally guide your thoughts into the frequency that serves you best by caring about how you feel. Now you've got control over your point of attraction. Because law of attraction is the manager of this vibrational universe. Law of attraction says that which is vibrationally likened to itself is drawn. So if you've got a vibration going on based upon what you've been thinking, and that vibration is emanating from you mostly on whatever subject it is, then your life keeps playing out the details of that vibration. And if you want the details of your life to play out differently, you've got to emanate a different vibration. In a nutshell, that's what's going on here. You are the creator of your own reality because you are the thinker of your thoughts. And you can be a more deliberate thinker of your thoughts because you can feel how each thought feels in relationship to, and this is the big piece, in relationship to what? In relationship to what you really know, in relationship to who you really are, in relationship to all that you've been asking for, in relationship to the vibrational version of you that you've been carving out long before you came into this physical body, that you've been adding to enormously since you've been in this physical body, this vibrational version of you that stands as a vibrational reality that the source within you is well aware of and will guide you to the culmination of step by step. And when you get there, it's going to be fun, and every step along the way is going to be fun, and you never really get there. We should point that out because you never stop expanding.